Congressman, I know you're working against a hard deadline. We appreciate your time. Thanks for being with us.
Glad to join you tonight. Thanks for the opportunity.
Can you describe the events that occurred to you today, and what do you recall from this morning?
Right. Well, we were not on the floor at the time of the invasion of the Capitol, and we had been asked, along with many of the other congressmen and women, to stay in our offices to keep the number of people on the floor reduced because of the COVID concerns, which have kind of shrunk into insignificance for the moment. So our first indication that something was wrong was when we saw Vice President Pence hustled off the floor along with Speaker Pelosi, and then all of a sudden the feed shifted to showing rioters running through all hallways and offices of the Capitol. It was shocking.
Did you at any time fear for your safety or the safety of your staff?
Well, I think the answer is no, but we were removed from the Capitol building. We're across the street, some distance from the crowds. So we did hear that one of the three buildings here had been evacuated. We weren't sure why. And then the lockdown occurred, and we were told not to leave our offices. And so we did not. And we just kept watching, like everybody else in the nation, the incredibly sad events as they unfolded.
Congressman, we did hear earlier your tweet condemning the violent aspects of the protest, but supporting the freedom to protest. As you look back at the events of the day, what is your reaction to what has occurred so far?
Well, I don't think I have the strong enough words to condemn what happened. It was wrong. It was criminal. It was contemptible. Violence has no place in protest, none. And what's happened today is a stain on the nation's history and should never have happened. And I'm talking about people breaking windows, bashing down doors, vandalizing offices in the Capitol, and a woman actually being shot and killed in our Capitol, disrupting one of the most important days of this Congress, and trying to count the electoral votes. It was ridiculously bad, and I wish I had a better vocabulary to say that.
Well, certainly, Congressman, you've been a strong supporter of the president's. Do you feel his response to the events today have been adequate, and what do you feel his role should be going forward?
Well, I don't know all of his responses. In fact, I don't. We have been spending our time trying to get ready to appropriately vote in this electoral process and doing the appropriate analysis to protect constitutional rights. And so I can't really say what he has or has not done. I would just strongly suggest to the president that he do everything in his power to help protect the folks here in Washington, D.C. and not in any way condone or suggest violence. That's inappropriate, and I just hope he does all he can do to protect our processes here of democracy and the people in Washington, D.C. and across the nation. He needs to reach out and tell people in Medford and other places that, hey, violence has no place in our democracy, none. And if people want us to affect change, call me and let's talk about how to do exactly that.
Congressman, you said you were doing research on getting this vote moving forward. In that research, have you found any evidence to support the position of those who want to challenge the votes of certain states so far in this election and the electoral process?
So there are 6 states that are going to be challenged, as I understand it. It appears to us that we're maybe one of those states. There may be facts supporting an objection.
Where do you see this process going from here? I know they're back on the Senate floor debating now. Do you think that this event will in any way impact what happens going forward, not necessarily in this vote, but in the process to try and work in a bipartisan fashion once President Biden is inaugurated on the 20th?
Right. Well, it already has impacted this process because certain people have already changed their position on the voting. Kathy McMorris Rogers was going to object. She's not going to do so any longer, and others. She is a congresswoman from the state of Washington. I don't know who else may have changed their position. We had, in my office, focused on the Constitution, and we will be consistent with that approach. My hope is that we'll have a chance to vote on that tonight, and then we'll move forward.
Congressman Cliff Bentz, closing out an eventful first week in office. We appreciate your time on what was be a very busy night for you. Please stay safe as your staff as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.